All right, so last Infinity War, Ant-Man wasn't in the movie at all. You want to know the real reason why Ant-Man wasn't in the Infinity War movie? It's because Ant-Man would have instantly rocked Thanos' shit. In fact, dare I say it, Ant-Man is the best and strongest hero in the MCU. Y'all might have seen similar videos on why from Game Theory and Screen Rant or Because Science, but all of their arguments are missing the one true reason why he could take down anyone he faces. Or like 4 true reasons, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And all the evidence we need to prove this is from the first original movie too. So no spoilers for the new one. You're welcome. Okay, so first of all, Pym particles are none to fuck with. If you don't believe me, at the beginning of the movie, verified pimp Hank Pym busts into Stark Enterprises to learn that Tony Stark's dad, Howard, has been trying and failing to replicate his selfishly alliterated Pym particles. And just for some context, Howard Stark is a genius, and so are these guys, and so is everyone employed at this building. And no one has figured this out yet, so that's the kind of shit we're dealing with. In fact, Stark even calls it
the most revolutionary science ever developed.
And we can assume he's right because, like I said like 13 seconds ago, he's a literal genius. If you want more proof, this dude, Pym's old apprentice, who I will now refer to as Crazy Bald Villain Guy for the remainder of the video, shows a group of investors a video that details the power and logistics of a soldier that can just shrink to a fraction of the human size.
Where'd he go? Oh my god. Why are they all...
In fact, Pym begs Crazy Bald Villain Guy to not create this suit because he knows how powerful this technology is. It's not worth flaunting in public like some other suit-wearing heroes we may or may not know. Y'all said it, Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man ain't got shit. At one point in the movie, Pym explains that even the Avengers can't handle this tech because the particles
change the texture of reality.
I don't even know what that means.
But if that wasn't enough reasons to believe Pym particles are the craziest thing, Pym mentions that with the suit, if the regulator malfunctions or is tampered with, he could go subatomic, which allows him to enter a quantum realm where
you would enter a reality where all concepts of time and space become irrelevant as you shrink for all eternity.
I don't even know what that means.
See, secondly, Scott has been through more shit than any Avenger ever has. This man has gone through the most intense, brutal, life-changing, scarring moments of any Avenger. Like when he saw a giant 30-foot dick. And if we're being honest, I should be able to end the video here. Name one Avenger who saw a 30-foot dick and lived to tell the tale. Maybe I shouldn't say that. That sounds like really bad. So when Scott tries on the suit for the first time, he shrinks down to the size of an ant, then falls the equivalent of what's gotta be a skyscraper into the bathtub. For context, I get a jolt of fear when almost falling out of my seat, which is like 1.5 feet off the ground. Then he has to outrun a giant tsunami and gets washed up, then gets flung hundreds of feet to the ground, proportionally. He then gets knocked down a pipe into the building.
Nope.
Hangs on for dear life from a moving plate to the point he almost flies off.
No.
Almost gets his junk ripped off by a record scratch thing and falls down for proportionally hundreds of feet again.
No.
Runs through a crowd of giants without getting stepped on.
No.
Gets hit down a gaping chute.
No.
Gets sucked into a f***ing tornado.
No.
Encounters a giant rat.
Why?
And gets flung out a window.
How?
Hundreds of proportional feet in the air. I feel like I just described the f***ing Odyssey. All of that was so traumatizing that he performs the one act that a master thief knows he shouldn't do and returns to the scene of the crime to return the suit. My dude is scarred. Like, we could have stopped at seeing the giant thing and I would have turned my suit right back in. And if you aren't already convinced that this dude hasn't been put through the ringer, then tell me how you would feel if you got approached by a ton of dog-sized ants. He then flies up what's gotta be proportionally thousands of feet on an ant and passes out, which I'm surprised didn't happen sooner. He then wakes up in a room with more ants, bullet ants, the hurdy ones. He even gets run over by a bunch of ants, almost gets killed by these giant crazy ants. And honestly, if that wasn't enough for you, during the pre-climax of the film, a bald evil guy shoots his pet, Anthony, his flying bug pet. So he's dealt with loss and emotional trauma. Like, this is the equivalent of if a villain shot your dog with no remorse. In fact, that's a good pivot point. The villain he faced is debatably worse than Thanos. All right, so just so you get the gist of how bad this guy is, he follows a dude into the bathroom and straight murders him.
Yo, is that semen?
And for why, you ask? It was because he wasn't really feeling the suit he made. And afterward, he just flushed this dude down the toilet and washed his hands and then went to dinner. Like he didn't just kill a whole ass person. Then proceeds to bad talk Pym, saying
his failures as a mentor, as a father, forced us to spread our wings.
he didn't help you spread your wings because you be turning people into stains in public restrooms. The more proof that this dude is the craziest villain in the MCU. During one scene, he's testing his shrinking formula, and my man uses f***ing lambs as test subjects. Like, what's her face says,
I thought we were using mice.
and he says,
What's the difference?
yo. And then during the test, the lamb dies, and not a tear was shed.
Yo!
And then he just asked for the next test subject.
Yo!
So who is the real Mad Titan here, my G? And this is all simply to spite Pym. He also shoots him. There's a point in the movie where he says to Scott,
Take the suit off or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
chill. And
Your very existence is insulting to me.
Chill!
at one point, he even tries to kill Scott's kid. This dude is crazy. But thankfully, the Ant-Man can handle any situation because of my last reason specifically. Scott is the boss, boy. So first off, you don't usually see Marvel heroes in jail. Like it opens up with him getting punched in the face. Come to find out, this was just some kind of weird goodbye ritual, and all these inmates are here for Scott's send-off from jail. See, now contrary to popular belief, as a black man, I don't know a lot about jail, but I do know a 5'9" white guy getting dapped by this many minorities means you've earned a lot of respect. And then after getting out of prison, a dude has to get a job at Baskin Robbins, which is like the McDonald's of ice cream. An Infinity War in and of itself. Then he gets fired because he just got out of prison. But it's not like he's an evil mastermind or something. His roommate explains that he's like one of those good guy thieves, breaking the law to do what's right. And not to mention, later on, we learn Scott is a damn father. Like, whoa, my boy got obligations too? What? Name another father on the Avengers that people actually care about. There's a point in the movie where Scott is given the task to break into Hank's home. And like I said earlier, he's just kind of a regular dude, but damn. There's another scene where he puts on his suit in like 10 seconds, which is impressive. It takes me like 10 seconds to put on my drawers. Also, another thing to remember is this dude has to control the power of the suit and the power to lead a colony of ants with his mind. Think of the mental strain it takes to get another person to listen to you, period. But he has to control hundreds of ants. And later on in the film, Scott has to infiltrate an Avengers hideout and gets confronted by an Avenger, albeit the one, but he beats the brakes off this dude. And this man was in the military, trained government operative, and a legitimate superhero with some of the most advanced tech on the planet available to him. There's another point where Scott is literally riding a raft of ants into a sewer river down the equivalent of hundreds of feet on ants that he's controlling with his mind. What even is that sentence? He flies through an electrical field of death on an ant. Like, yo, look at this. There's a scene where Ant-Man has to run through a storm of bullets, which has to be the equivalent of running through no man's land during World War I. And again, he's just a guy here. And those bullets are twice his size. If one of them hits him, it's a wrap, but he dodges them all. He even flies outside of a helicopter. Like, hang on for dear life with the strength of a normal ass guy on top of a helicopter. Normal guy. Just a normal dude. Then he goes far enough to sacrifice himself by going subatomic to save his daughter, and he doesn't care. All for a shot at saving them. He couldn't even be 100% it was gonna work. And after doing it, he finds a way to come back too. Pulling something that even the original Wasp didn't think of. Like, this dude has got the juice. And all in all, he ends up saving the day. And this dude overcomes that immense circumstance. And if all that didn't prove his bravery enough, he makes out with his mentor's daughter in his house right in front of him. That takes some guts though, for real. See, that's the thing about Ant-Man. He's been put through these insane situations and he's looked down on as a lame hero by a lot of people. But for those same reasons, he would have worked anyone. And not because when he shrinks he can make a black hole, or because like the adjacent force of him turning small is yada yada yada. Nah, he's just shown that he can do it. And even if you don't agree that Ant-Man is the best, you gotta admit, he's a lot cooler than a lot of people originally thought. Just saying. Oh, What's up, y'all? And thank you guys for watching. So yeah, I might have been a little crazy on that opinion, but hey, not everybody might agree. So it's open discussion. So everyone has their own thoughts. And since you like this video, maybe you should check out my one on Incredibles being super dark. It's a really, really good twist. You also might want to check out my last video, The Purge. It's over here. It's actually really cool too. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.